using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is a space war game. You can download the source code in the description box along with the images. Now what it does, we can move the plane left and right. We can hit the alien with our missile just by pressing the space bar. As you can see, the score is also getting incremented. Once the alien touches our spaceship, it says game over and you have to restart the game just by pressing refresh. Now what are the things needed? These are the images you will get in the description. Just it's a zip file, you need to download it and extract it and you will get all these images and my source code as well. Now we need three files, one HTML, CSS and JavaScript file. Let me create it. So this is the CSS file and this is the script file. Now you can download all the images in this link, and these are the steps we are going to follow and these are the topics which we are going to cover in this video. I'm sorry for that, my mic is weak, that's why I'm recording in my mobile, but don't worry about the quality, it would be as same as the previous one. Now we are going to create three files, which is HTML index2.html, style2.css and script2.js. I am just adding the suffix 2 to all the file names just to differentiate which is what. Now we need a boilerplate exclamatory tab, and we can link the CSS and the JavaScript. Let me first change the title, link the CSS, and on the footer make sure to add the script file, which is script2.js, and here is style2.js, style2.css. Now it's very plain HTML, so before that let me copy paste the font. This is the font for the space. I have chosen it and let me add it just below, just above our custom script style sheet. Now this is the H2 and these are the HTML which is required. I'll explain the HTML one by one. So if you follow, we don't need the H1 for now because this is the body. Just okay, after the body we have H2 and then we have a game container. The game container has three children, each of them are same. If you see, we have just changed the ID and the image name. That's what I'm showing now. For now I'm just commenting the missile. So let's get, so this is how it looks without the CSS, the static HTML. Now we are going to make this dynamic by adding CSS. So first thing first, we are going to add the margin and padding. We are going to remove the margin and padding of making it 0 and 0, and we are going to add the height and width to the body, and make sure to add overflow hidden or else your spaceship will have a scroll bar. That means your browser screen will have a scroll bar. So this is the background which I'm going to add for the body. bg.gif. Now I'm adding the overflow hidden, as I said, to avoid the scroll bar on the screen. Now the scroll bar is gone. For next thing, let's work on the game div. So I'm going to give the width and height to the game div along with the background color for now, just to identify our space till where we can go with our spaceship. And you can see the HTML is very static, very simple. Everyone follows the same style: ship, alien, and the last one missile. Cool. Now let me give the width and height to the game div. Width has 900 pixel and the spaceship width is going to be 300 pixel, so we can move 3 times. Along with the alien also can move 3 times on the left and right, so that's why 900 is divided into 3. So the container has the width 300, the image has the width 100% for the spaceship, but for the alien I need a slightly smaller version, so I'm going to use 250 pixel for this. Now this is how it looks. So since we have given the alien slightly small, I need the alien to be at the center of the 300 pixel div. That's why I'm giving display center. So text align center. Now let me uncomment the missile and show you. We are going to make the missile 100 pixel, but the container itself will have 300 pixel. So as I said already, we are able to move 3 times on the left and right. That's the reason 900 is divided into 3. So the container has 300 and the image is going to have 100 pixel. So in without text align center, you can see it is on the left side. With text align center, we want the missile to be launched at the tip of the spaceship. That's what I was showing on the video. So with text align center, we can center a line. So I have commented the missile, it would confuse us. Now let's focus on the game div. Let's add the background color, red, and we want to add the height. So the height would be 650 pixel. Again, the calculation plays a huge role. I want to copy the same height and width which I am following for all the section. Now we want the div to be at the center of the body. So we'll use the same trick, which is display flex, align item center, justify content center. So this will allow the child to be placed exactly center of the screen. Now if you see, it is not exactly at the center. It is because we have our h2 inside the body. That's what I was specifying while explaining the HTML. Just below the body, just inside the body, the immediate child is h2. So let's position the h2 with the help of position absolute. We want, just let me show you the color. Let me change the color to so that we can distinguish the h2 with the background. I'm adding the background color, the contrast one, and then the font size 50 pixel. Now if you see, let's place this at the top. So we can use position absolute. Again, the font family, we are going to add the letter spacing so that we can get some space between the letters. Three pixel works. Now we want the h2 to be at the top left, top 0, left 0. Let's decrease the font size to 50 to 30. Cool. Now let's position the spaceship at the bottom of the game div. So here, as I said, we have the height of 650 pixel. We have to take care the height of the ship. So let's position absolute. Whenever you use position absolute, the parent should have position relative. That's what I'm doing. So top of 680 divided by 3 or 4, we would be getting something like 450 pixels. So I'll just use 450 pixel. So again, as I said, it's a lot of trial and error. I made a lot of trial and error to get this perfect pixel, perfect like 480 pixel. I would recommend you to do the same. Now the alien, again, we don't want the top, we want the top to be -10. So it's already at the top, so let's make this, so let's make it touch the top. Cool. Now what we are going to do, we are going to move the ship on the left and right. So to move the ship, we need to press 2 keys. So before that, let me get all the elements in the JavaScript with the help of document.getElementById. This is the game div, this is the ship, and this is the alien. I have stored it into the variable so we can access it in the JavaScript. Again, the score is 0, we have defined it. So window.add event listener, we are going to use the event called key down. So with the help of the key down, we would be having a function, we would be having a parameter called e. With the help of e, we can access which key code is pressed. So for the key code, left, right and space, these are the values. So we need to first distinguish the left one, which is 37. So that's what I'm specifying for left arrow. When we press the left arrow, what should happen? We need to get the position of the spaceship. How we are going to get the position of the spaceship? With this property, window dot get computer style. We need to pass the element. We need the ship element. I'm not passing the string, I'm passing the variable, so space. And what we need the left position of the element, so get property value left. So this will give a pixel value like 10 pixel, 20 pixel, 30 pixel. We don't want the pixel value, we want the absolute number only. So I'm converting it to %, and storing into a variable called ship left. So if the ship left, as we are going to see, we are going to divide this length, this give into 3 parts. This is 0, this is 300, this is 600. So I'm passing 600. If it is less than 600, then we need to add 300 pixel to the ship. So I'm getting the style. So this is the style, and passing the 300 pixel. Now if you we need to add a pixel 300 pixel. I'm just testing with 30 pixel whether it is working or not. So again I made a mistake, like the key code for the left key is like 37. I have written something wrong, so it's not 37, I believe it's something like 39. So right now we are working on the right arrow, not on the left arrow. So if I press right key, you can see we are able to move 30 pixel. Now we don't want to move 30 pixel, we want to move 300 pixel. So we can get only 3 chance, like 100, 300, and this is only 3 times. We cannot go further than that border. So again we need to do for the left arrow as well. So to identify left arrow, we have the key code called 37, and this time we need to make sure it is greater than 0, and we need to decrement the 300 pixel from the left of this spaceship. Now we are able to move left and right of the game div. Now we are going to launch a missile when we press a space bar. So for that we are going to create a HTML. Like if I press the space bar is 32. If I press space bar 32, the key code is 32. What we need to do, we need to create an element. So the element will look like this. So we are going to create this HTML element inside the JavaScript. Let's see how to do this. It's very simple. So we need a container. Inside the container we have image. So how we are going to do in HTML? So to create an HTML, we have a property called document.createElement. So we are going to create a div element. As you can see, we have a container as div. So let's create a div, and we'll store it into a variable called div. And we are going to have a class. We are going to add a class to this div. So this is the div div.classlist.add. So the class is missile, and then we are going to create the same element like image. We'll name differently, missile image. So as we said, we are going to set the image URL, okay, missile.gif. The source image.source equal to missile.gif. This is how we set the source of the image with JavaScript. And now we need to append the image with the div, parent div. So how we are going to do this? Div.append child missile image in this case. Now when we click on a space, now we need to append this div inside the game div, game.append child div. Now when a spacebar is pressed, we will get a missile on the game div. Let's try it. If we don't get any error, it would work fine. Now what we are missing is there's an error on the line number 24. On the line number 24, you can see we need to remove this HTML. We have pasted it, but we haven't removed it. Now you can see on every spacebar clicked, the missile is getting appended to the game div. We need to add an animation. So the animation is called fire. When I click on a spacebar, it should start from 480 pixel to the 0 pixel. So you will better understand if you look at the screen. Now the fire will start. It will start from 480 pixel, which is the position of the ship, and it will reach to the top, which is 0. So refresh it. It's not getting appended, so we have to check what we have made. Let's get the animation is not working. Let me see why. So I think we have to give a position in order to use animation. To use the top and left on the keyframe, we need to have position top on the parent, which is the parent is missile in this case, position absolute. Then we need to have top, we need to use top to the parent. That's when we can use inside the keyframe. Now you can see we are able to launch. So if you see, let me add 490 to it so that it comes below, just below the spaceship, and let me add z index so that it looks like the missile is coming from the bottom of the spaceship. So I have arranged the z index accordingly. Now let's comment this and let's try to append it just by pressing spacebar. We are able to launch a missile. No, the CSS is not getting applied. Let me see why. So I think there's again we have to type the animation. We have to use the same fire, 1 second duration and a linear format, and only one time space. And I forgot the semicolon. Now let me try by clicking on the space bar. Now this time it should work if there is no error. Cool. Now if you see, the missile is getting stayed on the same place. We want the missile to launch at the top of the spaceship, so we need to get the position of the spaceship. So let's get the position of the spaceship and assign this position of the spaceship to the missile. So the position of the spaceship is ship.style.left. We can get the position and then assign the same value to the missile. So by this, when I launch, so both of them have the same position. So now what we need is, we need to remove the missile once it reaches at the top. So set timeout on 1 second, which is 1000 millisecond. I want to remove the missile. So you can see the missile is no more on the screen after 1 second. So that works. Now the next thing, we have launched the missile. Now destroy the alien ship when the missile hits the alien ship. Now what we can do, we need to understand the position of both the spaceship and the alien ship. We need to check whether they are on the same path, and we need to check the position of the missile, whether it touches the alien ship or not. So to get this, I am running a set interval at a very minimum time, which is 10 millisecond. So I have got all the position. So this is the position of the missile from the left, from the top, and the preceding two are the position of the alien ship from top and left. Again, we are doing some calculation. I'll explain the calculation one after the other. As I said, we have to check for 3 conditions. The first condition, whether they are on the same path. The second condition, whether the alien actually touches the missile, and the third one whether the alien actually crosses the missile. So if all the conditions are true, then we need to remove both the missile as well as the alien. That means we have perfectly hit our target. So we are removing the div. Here the div is the missile, and I'm commenting just to make sure we are on the right path, and we are removing the alien. Cool. If I refresh it, once it hits, it's gone. I need to refresh it again. Now let's increment the score each time. So we have defined the score. So score plus plus, we are going to increment score each time once it hits, and then we have to get the h2. Since we have only one h2, we can directly call document.query selector h2, and we can write the HTML with the property dot inner HTML. We need to pass the string, and we are going to concatenate the variable with plus. So now each time when the missile hits the alien, the score will be incremented. Cool. Now what we need, we want the alien to move top and bottom and left and right. So we are going to show the alien in every 1 second. So we need to set the interval, 1 second, which is 1000 millisecond. And then we'll create a function and call this inside the set interval, and here we are going to use alien.style.display block. I made a mistake. Previously we have removed the whole element. We don't have to remove the whole element, we have to just make them display none. So on every 100 millisecond this function is going to get called, and the alien is going to rise again and again every 1 second. So as I said, we need to remove this and make this display none. Now if you refresh every 1 second, once it hits, it's going to appear again. Once it hits, it's going to appear again. Now we need to add an animation, like it should come from top and reach till the bottom. So for that we need to create a CSS class. Let's name this as move alien, and we are going to have an animation. As I said, it will come from top and it will reach the bottom till where our spaceship is, and these are the property. It's going to have it's going to move only one time, so that's why I'm specified 1. So on keyframes, on 0th time frame what should happen, and on 100th time frame what should happen. On 0th time frame it should be at the top, and on the 100th time frame it should be at the place where our spaceship is. So if you remember, the spaceship, the top is like 480 pixel. 480 pixel. Let's make this 400 or 480. Start from -10 and reach to 400 pixel, and it's going to take 3 seconds. Now we need to append this class to our alien so that it moves from top to bottom. Refresh it. From top, actually it's going the negative value. We need to remove the negative, like we have to make this we have to remove -400 to just 400. So it will come from top to bottom. The score is also getting incremented. There is no problem in that. Now what we are going to do is we have to move this alien horizontally. So we need to get the random values. The random value need to be like from 0 to 300 only, not 300. Not just 300. And we are going to multiply it by 3. If 300 multiplied by 3 is just 900. So we need a random value inside 0 to 900. I have made 300. It's 0 to 900 because we have multiplied by 3. Now we need to pass this random value to the alien. So it's really very simple. Style dot left equal to random is just a number, so we have to concatenate with string and have it as pixel. Now every 1 second we can see our alien moving horizontally. The score is also getting incremented. Now the final step is we need to figure out the position of the alien ship and alien ship from the top. We need to figure out the position of the alien ship from the top. Once it reaches the position of the spaceship, the spaceship position is, we already know, it's 480 pixel. Once it reaches the 480 pixel, then the game is over. We need to show the alert. It's very simple. So I'm just testing out. I have reduced the alien moving time from 1 pixel to 3 pixel. That's what I did. Now finally we need to create a function and again I'm adding the random value every 2 seconds, not on every 1 second. On every 1 second it is like adding very fast. Now if I make this 2 second, it will get the random value after 2 seconds. So the level of difficulty would be easy. Now let me remove the red. We don't need the position specifier because we already know, we have already properly made a function. We know that it is not going to exceed 0 pixel from left and 900 pixel from right. Cool. Now finally we need to have a function called game over. So let's create a function called game over. As I have already said, we are going to get the position of the alien, which we have already got it from the top. Let me copy paste it with the help of window.getComputed_style top. Now we got the top position of the alien. Once it reaches the 400 pixel, we don't need to have pixel, then we have to say game over, and this function we have to run every 10 millisecond. So I'm going to pass this. We have already created set interval, so I'm going to pass this over here. Now let me check. Once it reaches the 400 pixel, we should get an alert. Now we are not going to get alert because we have a mistake. I have passed the string here. Let me check it again. We have passed 480 pixel. It is just asking for 480 because we have converted it as a parseint. 480. Again 480 value is not right. 400 would work. I would test with 480. It is not going to work. Let me try leaving it. It's not going to work. Now we have, if we make this 480, then it would work. I'm testing out the pixel value. This is behind the screen. We have to test all the value to get the right pixel value. Now I have made this 400. Now if it reaches the bottom of 400, you will get the error of 400. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening. Let me try this one more time. Well, that works.